Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. This month, I want to do a three-part series. I'm all about the three-part series right now, but I'm calling it Habits in the Wild. And stick with me here for a second. It's because most women do not fail at their habits because they don't care or they're not trying hard enough. It's because the habits were designed for perfect conditions, which I'm calling captivity, right? And we don't live in captivity. We live in real life where there's hormones and stress and work and kids and tiredness and emotional just exhaustion and maybe the occasional breakdown in front of the pantry. Okay. So that's real life. That is what I'm calling the wild. And so over the next 3 episodes, I want to talk about our 3 anchors. I'm going to do each one separately because I want to give you a lot of examples and a lot of like real world tactical tips and tricks here. But it's our 3 anchors that we talk about, which is our nutrition, our movement, and our self-talk, which we call eat, move, calm, right? So, because really self-talk could be any mindfulness. But I want to talk about those today. So I want to stick to the first one today, which are our nutrition, or our, what we like to call our anchor, our protein anchor, right? Because if you are on a GLP-1 or you are peri or postmenopausal or you are just trying to be as healthy as possible, we need muscle, especially as women, especially as we get older. And the key to muscle development and maintenance and strengthening, all of it is protein. So if we are only going to think about one thing with our nutrition, it's protein. So when I talk about thinking about our habit in the wild or an anchor for us, I talk about protein. And so that is what we're going to talk about today. So we're calling it our Habits in the Wild Food Edition. Okay. So if your eating falls apart when life gets stressful, you are not broken. Yeah, that is very, very common. And it's just because our plan was built for captivity, right? We built this nutrition plan for ideal circumstances, and we just really don't live there most of the time. I know that if I have a day that goes exactly as planned, I just can't even believe it, right? That's a great day. And so it's not the norm. It's not the majority of our time. So most eating plans are designed for that version of life where nothing goes wrong, where we have time and we have energy and our hormones are cooperating and we are not having any aches or pains and our appetite behaves and we're hungry when we're supposed to be hungry and we're feeling motivated and we're cooking dinner like a Pinterest mom with a glass of wine and a clean kitchen, right? That's captivity. That is not real life, okay? We are in the wild. And in the wild, everything changes, right? Kids get sick, we get sick, work gets heavy, we're exhausted for reasons we don't even know. Our hormones are shifting. If we're on a GLP-1, maybe our appetite is just weird, okay? Like we're not hungry when we think we're supposed to be hungry. If we've been eating a lot of processed foods, we can't always trust our hunger signals. So we're starving one second and not hungry the next second. And that's like every 2 hours, we're having some kind of weirdness happen. Our libido disappears. Decision fatigue at 4:30, we're like done, we're shutting it down, which is right when it's time for most of us to start thinking about cooking dinner. So the last thing we want to do, or the last thing we're thinking about, is having a balanced plate and this Pinterest ready dinner where we're having lovely fresh cooked vegetables and a protein and like not a complex carb or a complex carb, whatever you want to do. So that's when we have a tendency to order out, right? So if our habits only work when life is easy, I want you to readjust your habits. So in February, in the membership, we talked a lot about resetting without restarting. And March is about consistency. And so I think this is very applicable. So this is what we're going to be talking about this month. Our habits are not always a discipline problem. So we are really told and programmed to think that if our habits are failing, it's an us problem and we're just lazy and not motivated and we're bad. And I just don't believe that's the case, okay? So it's a flaw in the design, right? So lots of people, when they talk about habits, talk about their systems. So if our system is built for perfect, it makes sense that it's not going to work, right? Because life is not perfect and human beings are not perfect. So we need a system that is built for consistency, which is more days than not, and built for the wild when things go crazy. So when we think about just building an anchor instead of a perfect plan with our food, sometimes that can make it a little bit easier, and it helps us keep it going even when life is messy. So we're not going to have any shame over messing up because we're not going to mess up. So again, I'm going to go back and tell you the examples because I want you to be super clear on this. So food in captivity would look like planned meals every night, balanced plates with those lovely veggies, cooking dinner and sitting down as a family every night, predictable appetite where we're hungry when we think we're going to be hungry and hungry when it's time to be hungry, and the emotional bandwidth to think about food. That is captivity. Food in the wild is crazy appetite on a GLP-1, no appetite, and then ravenous, okay? Grabbing bites of your kid's food, stress cravings at night, hormone fatigue days where cooking feels laughable, like the do not care club. I do not care that I plan to make dinner. I'm not doing it. Standing in the kitchen and thinking, I don't even know what I want, right? I've had such a bad day. I can't even think about it. So in the wild, the goal is not perfect nutrition. It is one stabilizing thing, one anchor, one small, no matter what thing that we can do so that our brain remembers and believes that we are staying on track. So it shuts down this starting over. Because I think starting over we don't want to do that. Because the truth is we're not quitting unless we truly stop. So even if we miss a day or 2 days or 3 days, whatever, if we are just keep going, we have not quit and we have not failed. Okay, so in the wild, our goal is not perfect nutrition. It's one stabilizing thing, okay? And so I like protein as the anchor. So we're not fixing everything and we're not getting everything back on track and we're not eating perfectly for the rest of the day, okay? One signal, one thing that tells our body, it's okay. I took care of it. I'm still on track, okay? So the most important one that we need is protein, okay? It stabilizes our blood sugar. It gives us energy. It's sustained energy. It's not a quick up and down, okay? So this is not a rule. This is not a diet rule. This is not a number to hit. We don't have to track this, but I want you to think, if nothing else, can I grab some protein today? Can I make sure my body has some protein that I've fed my beautiful muscular body? So it works very well in the wild for some of the things I just said, right? It stabilizes our blood sugar. It means fewer crashes. We're not having so many oh my gosh, what did I just do, right? Have you ever eaten? And then all of a sudden you're halfway through the plate and you're I don't even know what just happened. It's a little harder to do that with protein, okay? It's easy to get lost in a bag of chips. It's not really that easy to get lost in a hard-boiled egg, okay? So it stabilizes our blood sugar. It really cuts down on that rage, mindless eating because we do have, it just naturally makes us slightly more mindful. It helps regulate our appetite, especially important if your hunger cues are a little messed up. And on GLP-1s, that can happen, right? We're not hungry, we're hungry. It can also happen if we've been eating a lot of processed foods. We can't, our hunger can be all over the place. And it's not a problem, but protein is going to help. Protein is going to protect our muscle, which matters for metabolism and strength and aging and confidence and maintenance of your weight loss. Okay? Because muscle burns more than fat, right? So if we can build muscle, it's easier to maintain our weight loss. Protein also supports energy, which supports our mood and our motivation and our libido. Yes, all of those things. And it's also more nausea friendly than maybe some other carbs or greasy foods if you are having some either hormonal nausea or GLP-1 nausea. So protein, all good, okay? So instead of asking what can I do to be perfect today? Or what do I need to fix today? Or what should I eat today? What if we just ask where's one little moment that I can squeeze some protein in? That's it. One protein forward meal or snack. That's it. So I want it to feel really doable, not aspirational. Okay. So this is not a Pinterest moment. This is like a real life in the wild thing that we're going to do. So it might look like something like a couple of hard-boiled eggs, right? Sometimes, if you can buy them already cooked and peeled in a bag at the grocery store, and they're not bad. Okay. So we could keep those in the fridge for like an emergency moment. We can know where we can stop for a rotisserie chicken on the way home and just eat it straight from the container. Look, we peel it apart and put it on a cutting board, and then children just come and like stand at the bar and eat it. It's fine, right? They're getting some protein. It's good. We could have a Greek yogurt that stays in our fridge and is there for us. We could have a protein shake that we like and can tolerate. Okay. I'm not a fan of having those all the time, but maybe we need that. Or a protein bar that doesn't make you gag, right? You guys know I love my squirrel snacks. I have protein bars in my desk at work. Do I eat them often? No, not at all. Maybe one a month, maybe, but it's there in case I'm having a day where like my aspirational captivity, Stacy, always preps a meal for lunch. In the wild, Stacy is usually late getting the kids out the door and knows that there's something in her desk. Okay? We could have leftover meat without a whole meal around it. We could have some cottage cheese. We could just put something on a plate and eat it. Okay. We can just have a chicken breast for dinner. We can just have rotisserie chicken for dinner. We do not need to have the beautiful plate. Okay. So we need to let that perfectionism go. It's not about presentation. It's not about perfection. It's not about hitting your macros. These are the days where things are just not going well, and we just want to get some protein into our body. So when we send that body the signal like, hey, I'm taking care of you, here's some protein, very helpful, especially on our hardest days, because something shifts a little bit. Like it makes us feel a little steadier, a little more in control. The spiral of like, screw it, I'm eating whatever kind of stops. And if we can do this enough, we start to trust ourselves a little bit more, and trusting yourself really is everything. That's the meta skill that sort of overarches everything that I teach and talk about, is this: every time you show up for yourself, it's easier the next time, and the more you believe you're going to do it, and that trust is really big. And so it really stops us from starting over every Monday, because that is not helpful to anybody. Right? So we're not trying to fix our whole diet here. We're picking one moment to have protein in our day. And again, so squirrel some stuff away, right? We have cheese sticks always in the fridge, okay? I've got nuts in my desk at work. I have protein bars in my desk at work. I have mixed nuts in my car for when the kids get in the car and they're hungry and they're like ravenous. Protein. Like that's also lovely, healthy fat, right? But these little snackies get the job done. And that's all we're trying to do, is get the job done. And this getting the job done reminds our brain that we are doing what we said we're going to do. And we have not gone off track, and we don't need to start over on Monday. We are doing our baseline. We are keeping it strong. We do not need to restart, okay? We can reset our day by just hanging on to one of these anchors. So that is what food in the wild looks like. And those are my suggestions for food habits in the wild. I ask my clients, my private clients, and some of my challenge clients all the time, I want you to look around your life and find what your sort of safety net, emergency backup protein things are. Like, where is that restaurant you can just grab some takeout protein? What takeout protein can you grab from fast food? What can you grab from, there's so much at the gas stations now, right? Like I can run into the gas station and get a cheese stick, okay? I can do that. So where are these places that you can pre-plan as like these safety nets and emergency backups and this protein anchor that is just easy? I want this to feel so easy that it is a no-brainer. So for me, that means having it with me all the time. So either squirreling it away in my car or squirreling it away at my desk. Or like my kids have one of those crisper trays is just for their snacks, which are all protein. Okay, so they've got their little yogurts in there, and they've got their cheese sticks in there, and I put some meat sticks in there. So their protein anchor that I want them to grab preferentially is right there at their level that they can grab quickly. And then if I need one, I know where it is too. I'll just take theirs. Okay? So think about, where can I have this protein anchor? Where are some easy, quick things? Like, am I willing to waste $5 on a bag of hard-boiled eggs and not eat them? Absolutely, 100%, because this is my health and it's my habits and I want to keep them to consistent. So think about all those things like that. Think about what fast food places in the area, what takeout places in the area, so that when you are in the wild and having a wild day, you can still take care of yourself and then build that trust that you are going to always take care of yourself from a nutrition standpoint. We will talk about movement and mindset in the next couple of weeks, but this is just food, just protein, just one protein moment for the day to stabilize that blood sugar, to feed those muscles, to not have a sugar crash, all the good things it does for us. But mainly it's to remind yourself that you are taking care of you. And that's it. Your system just needs a little refinement. It's not your motivation, it's the system. And this little anchor will help you get through those super crazy wild days. So I will see you next week. We will talk part 2 of our In the Wild series. We will talk about movement. Now, if you think this was really helpful and you want more of this, we actually are talking about this in the membership this month. It's all about consistency, and so I would love you to join me in there. It's Sugar-Free MD Lifestyle Support Monthly. It is a monthly membership. You get your first 30 days free, so you can jump in there, see if you like it. I promise you will. And it's for real life, lifestyle support, okay? So it is this Habits in the Wild, and it's for women either on or off GLP-1s, hormone shifts, energy issues, just the messy reality of life. And we're going to be in there. We have 3 live calls a month, all kinds of support materials. I am there for it, okay? March is all about consistency over intensity. So I would love to see you there. I will make sure that the link is in the show notes. All right, until next time, bye.